Okay, so today what we're going to do is talk about two different verbs. The first verb we're going to talk about is el verbo tener, or the verb tener. So, conjugating is changing the forms of a verb to indicate who is doing the action. For example, the English verb to have is conjugated as I have, you have, he, she, it has, we have, they have. Okay? So, Claudia has a computer. Claudia tiene una computadora. Okay? So has and tiene are both conjugated verbs. So conjugation is matching the correct verb to its subject. Okay? You wouldn't be able to say I has because it's not the correct match. All right. Tener means to have. You will use tener to talk about what you have and what you have to do. So here's our famous verb chart again. Okay, you use this with the verb ser. All right, now we're going to conjugate the verb tener in this chart. So in order to say I have, you would say yo tengo. Okay, remember this from yo tengo 15 años, for example. You have is tú tienes. He, she, or you formal have, so él, ella, usted tiene. Then we have nosotros or nosotras for we, okay? And that conjugation is tenemos. Then we have vosotros and vosotras, tenéis, okay? So that's you all informal have. And then we have ellos, ellas, ustedes, tienen for they have or you all have. All right, tener plus que plus an infinitive is used to talk about what someone has to do, okay? An infinitive is an unconjugated verb that begins with to in English and ends in AR, ER, or IR in Spanish, okay? So, if I said tengo que estudiar, what I would be saying is I have to study. Tengo means I have, we put the word que in there, and then estudiar means to study, okay? If I said Miguel tiene que leer un libro, I would be saying Miguel has to read a book, okay? Tiene is has, and then we put the word que in there, and then leer means to read. Okay, moving on, we're going to look at the verb estar. So, there are two different ways to say the English word to be in Spanish, which is ser and estar. Okay, we've already learned ser. So let's take a look at that famous chart again. So it's yo soy, tú eres, él es, nosotros somos, vosotros sois, and ellos, ellas, ustedes son. Okay, so we already know how to conjugate this verb already. Okay? But we need to know when we use estar. We have ser and estar meaning the same thing. Okay, so estar is used to indicate location of either people or items, or to say how people feel. So we're going to take a look at this chart. Okay, so yo estoy. Okay, yo estoy. Tú estás. Él está. Ella está. And usted está. Nosotros or nosotras estamos, vosotros or vosotras estáis, and ellos, ellas, ustedes están. Okay? Now, when we translate these words into English, they mean the exact same things as ser. Okay? So, this is I am, you are, he, she, you formal, is or are, we are, etc. Okay? But you use this verb estar when you're talking about where something is or how somebody feels, okay? Notice that there are accent marks over all of the A's except the nosotros form. Those accent marks are key, okay? Right. Estar is used with adjectives to say how someone feels at a given moment. So if I wanted to say the teacher is calm, I would say el maestro or el profesor está tranquilo. Or if I wanted to say the girls are tired, I could say las chicas están cansadas. Okay? So you remember have to make those adjectives agree in gender and number. Since el maestro is a masculine singular noun, tranquilo is also a masculine singular adjective. But since las chicas is a feminine plural noun, cansadas changes to cansadas to match that. All right. Estar is also used to describe where people or things are located, okay? So, for example, la profesora Díaz está en su oficina durante el almuerzo. So, Professor Diaz is in her office during lunch, okay? All right. So, we'll always remember this poem when we use estar. For how you feel and where you are, you will always use the verb estar.